Okay, picture this. You're weaving through traffic, right? That vibrant, kind of dense pulse of an Indian megacity. The air's buzzing, horns everywhere, and then bam, out of nowhere, a pothole. Sends that awful jolt right through you, almost knocks you off balance. For millions, that's not just a random thought. It's the daily commute, a real challenge. So today we're doing a deep dive into something pretty fascinating in urban mobility. It's coming from Ather Energy, the pioneers based in Bengaluru. Our mission really is to unpack their latest stuff, specifically this Pothole Alert feature, which sounds amazing, and their new EL platform. I want to see how these aren't just changing the ride, but maybe how cities themselves could, well, evolve. We'll look at how they're mixing this cutting-edge tech with really practical, maybe even life-saving ideas. We've pulled together insights from a whole bunch of material at their big Community Day 2025 event, but also just the reality of India's roads. So get ready. There's some surprising things here, and maybe a glimpse of a smoother, smarter way to get around on two wheels.
Yeah, it's really clear Ather isn't just trying to make, faster electric scooters. They're looking at the bigger picture. They're tackling these systemic urban problems, like what's the daily grind for millions, and how can tech make that better and safer? It feels like a much more holistic approach, thinking about the whole mobility ecosystem.
Okay, let's get into it then. Starting with what drives everyone crazy. The pothole plague. It's more than just annoying, isn't it? It's a real hazard. The official stats are pretty grim. Over 5,000 deaths a year from pothole accidents.
That's right. And over 10,000 injuries linked to potholes annually. And it really hits the big urban areas hard, like Delhi, Mumbai.
And it's not just the safety aspect, devastating as that is. There's an economic cost too, right?
Oh, absolutely. There was a World Bank study, I think, estimating that bad roads cost India something like 3% of its GDP every year. Just think about that. Vehicle damage, wasted fuel, lost work time.
Yeah.
It all adds up.
Wow, 3%. That's huge. It's not just an inconvenience, it's a massive economic drain.
Exactly. And you feel it personally. You mentioned Bengaluru, pothole city.
Yeah, apparently 1,500 complaints in just one monsoon month. That's staggering.
And Mumbai, with the coastal humidity, erosion makes things worse fast. Delhi's potholes are, well, legendary.
You hear jokes about needing an SUV for the commute.
Right. Pune, Chennai, they're all fighting the same battle. It's like an obstacle course out there.
So the human cost is massive. Delivery guys, students, families, everyone's affected.
Which is why Ather's Pothole Alert feature isn't just some gimmick. It's a direct response to a really serious, dangerous need.
Okay, so let's talk about how it actually works. This sixth sense or co-pilot idea is great. How do they map everything?
Well, that's the clever part. They mapped roads in 5 big cities, Bengaluru, Delhi, Mumbai, Pune, Chennai. And they did it by collecting data from actual rides. Over 2.6 million kilometers of real-world data.
2.6 million kilometers, wow.
Yeah, and it's not just raw GPS points. They combine that rider data, the telemetry, with satellite imagery, and even on-ground surveys. Then the real magic is in the machine learning. It processes all this to figure out what's a speed bump versus what's a dangerous pothole.
Ah, okay. So it's smart about it.
Exactly. So when your scooter's GPS sees you're heading towards a known rough spot, it pops up an alert on the dashboard, tells you to slow down, maybe suggests another route. It's very localized, very intelligent.
So it's predictive, not just reactive.
Mm.
And you mentioned this came directly from rider feedback. That's really
You
good.
did, yeah. Riders were just fed up with those sudden jolts.
And Ather is actually sharing this data with city authorities. That sounds like it could be game-changing. But are cities actually using it? What are the hurdles?
That's the big question, isn't it? Sharing the data is fantastic. It makes it a community effort. The challenges are, bureaucracy, getting different systems to talk to each other, standard stuff. But by giving them verified, detailed data on where the worst spots are, Ather's offering a powerful tool. It could shift things from just patching holes after they appear to proactive maintenance. Planning ahead.
Which could save lives, save money.
Exactly. Safer roads for everyone. But yeah, it really depends on the cities being willing and able to integrate this kind of real-time info.
It's a brilliant use of data, really.
Yeah.
Okay, let's shift gears. Let's talk about the engineering underneath all this, the EL platform and AtherStack 7.0. The EL platform, Ather's calling it their next-gen architecture, skeleton and brain, redesigned. What does redesign from the ground up actually mean here?
Right. So this is a pretty fundamental shift for them. It's not just about using fewer parts, though that's part of it. It's moving towards what you might call a software-defined vehicle. More functions are handled by a central ECU, an electronic control unit.
Making it more modular.
Precisely, which makes future software updates, over-the-air updates, much easier. They can add features faster, kind of like with your phone. And yes, it's built using insights from all that riding data, the 2.6 million kilometers, so it's designed for real roads. The result, fewer components, yes, but also assembly time cut by 15%. And get this, service intervals pushed out to 10,000 kilometers.
10,000. That's impressive. That means real savings for owners, less time off the road.
Huge savings, especially, as you said, for commuters and gig workers. Downtime costs them money.
So it's durable, efficient, and future-proofed with that software focus.
But there's more, right? Adaptive ride dynamics. How does that make it feel alive?
Yeah, this is cool. The platform can actually adjust the suspension response and how the power is delivered based on the road conditions it senses right now.
So you hit a bump.
And the scooter doesn't just absorb it passively. It actively optimizes its response, smooths things out, maintains control. Same for hills. It's like having an expert rider making micro adjustments constantly. Makes the ride feel more, well, responsive, comfortable, safer, ultimately.
That sounds like a significant step up in ride quality. Okay, and this brings us to AtherStack 7.0. The software layer. This is rolling out to existing scooters too, right? Like the 450s and the Rizta.
That's right, and it's a big deal. It really turns the scooter into a smart assistant.
Starting with voice commands.
Yep, hands-free stuff. Hey, Ather, find a charger. Hey, Ather, play my music. Oh. And it's not just basic voice recognition. They've used natural language processing, and critically, they've worked hard on making it understand you even with all the road noise. Ah, the noise cancellation challenge.
Exactly. Honking, traffic. It needs to filter that out and understand different accents. That's quite an engineering challenge, making it reliable in the real world.
A voice assistant that actually works when you need it.
Okay.
What about safety features in AtherStack 7.0? Crash alerts.
Yeah, crash alerts are crucial. The system can tell the difference between just dropping the scooter, maybe, and a serious crash. If it detects a major impact, it can automatically notify your emergency contacts or even emergency services.
That's peace of mind right there.
Definitely. Then there's Park Safe. It alerts you if you've parked badly, might get towed, could even link up with city parking apps eventually.
Practical.
And Lock Safe lets you remotely disable the scooter through the app if you think it's been stolen. Tackles a big worry for owners.
These are really hitting key pain points. Safety, security, parking hassles.
Yeah.
Very practical. But there's comfort and fun stuff too. Infinite Cruise.
Right. Infinite Cruise isn't just one setting. It's got modes. City Cruise gives you this gentle, steady acceleration for stop-start traffic, less fatigue. Hill Control helps maintain speed going uphill, so you're not constantly adjusting the throttle.
Well, that's useful.
And Crawl Control for really dense jams just eases you through smoothly. It's all about making the ride less stressful.
And the takeoff feature.
Yeah, that gives you a quick, controlled burst of acceleration when you need it, for merging safely, pulling away quickly. And yeah, they even threw in fun things like cricket score alerts on the dash. Shows the platform's versatility.
It really paints a picture of a holistic riding experience. Software making the vehicle genuinely smart.
Okay, let's broaden out the charging infrastructure. That's always the big question with EVs.
It is, and Ather's been proactive here. They built the Ather grid, over 4,000 fast chargers across India now. It's the biggest network for electric two-wheelers.
4,000, wow.
And they're still innovating. Their new 6-kilowatt charger, it's half the size of the old ones, but gives you 30 kilometers of range in just 10 minutes charging. 10 minutes for 30 kilometers, that's fast.
It is, and the killer feature. It has a built-in tire inflator.
Seriously.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. A proper pit stop.
Exactly. It tackles range anxiety head-on. Again, crucial for gig workers who can't afford to wait around. You need that charging network to make EVs viable.
Especially with India aiming for, 30% EV market share by 2030.
Yeah, up from about 5% now. Big jump. Government schemes like FAME, faster adoption, and manufacturing of electric vehicles are helping push that.
It shows a real commitment to the whole ecosystem, not just the vehicle.
Okay,
looking ahead, Ather teased this Redux prototype, a hybrid concept for 2027.
Yeah, that sounds intriguing. Coming from their new Factory 3.0, blending scooter convenience with maybe more motorcycle-like power, featuring those adaptive dynamics and the takeoff mode.
So pushing the boundaries again?
Seems like it, but it's not just prototypes. The Rizda Z model is getting a full touchscreen upgrade, better navigation, entertainment.
And the Halo Smart Helmet.
Right. Built-in speakers, mic, noise canceling for calls. even ventilation. It's about integrating the whole experience, safety, connectivity. It makes you think about how personal transport is becoming this connected system.
To really get Ather, you need to know their backstory, right? Founded back in 2013, IIT Madras grads Tarun Mehta and Swapnil Jain.
Yep. And their vision wasn't just, let's make electric scooters. It was, let's provide mobility solutions for India. Electrify the two-wheeler market, which is dominant here.
But back then, EV tech was, well, pretty basic.
Very nascent. Batteries weren't great. Supply chains were shaky. People were skeptical about EVs altogether. Their genius, I think, was focusing on the unique needs of the Indian market, taking inspiration from, say, Tesla, but applying it specifically to two-wheelers in Indian urban conditions. They weren't just selling a product. They were kind of building the market.
And the growth's been remarkable. That first model, the 450 back in 2018, 116-kilometer range, app connection that was cutting edge then.
Absolutely set a benchmark. And now, over 200,000 Ather vehicles on the roads in more than 100 cities. And a huge part of that is their community focus, those community day events they hold.
Right, they're on their third one now.
Yeah. And it's not just marketing, they genuinely listen. Features like regenerative braking apparently came directly from rider suggestions at these events.
So customers become co-creators.
Exactly. That builds loyalty. And they weathered the early storm supply issues, educating the market. Shows their commitment.
Okay, so let's bring it back to you, the listener. Why does all this tech matter in your daily life and for India's future? First off, money in your pocket, right?
Definitely. Petrol's around 100 rupees a liter in many places. Running an Ather costs, what, pennies per kilometer? That's a massive daily saving.
And the environment. India is aiming for net zero by 2070. EVs have to be part of that.
A huge part. Each electric scooter cuts CO2 emissions by about 1.5 tons a year compared to a petrol one. Think about the air quality impact in cities like Delhi. It's tangible. Every EV makes a small difference, but together.
It adds up. Then there's safety, those pothole alerts. If they prevent even a fraction of accidents.
It could save lives, reduce injuries, cut healthcare costs. The ripple effects are significant.
And what about empowerment? Things like the Rista, designed for families.
Yeah, making EVs accessible and practical for more people. Empowering women riders with reliable transport. Thinking about features for differently able users. It's about making mobility more inclusive.
So it's really about transforming daily life. Safer, cheaper, cleaner, more accessible transport.
Exactly. Now, it's not all smooth sailing, of course. There are always challenges. Data privacy is one people raise, though Ather says they use strong encryption.
And competition. Ola Electric, TVS iQube.
Fierce competition. Plus, the bigger industry challenges. Battery recycling. Where does the electricity come from? Can the grid handle millions more EVs? These are important questions for everyone.
Absolutely. But through it all, Ather seems laser-focused on quality, on listening to riders, on that integrated experience you see in the pothole alerts, the EL platform, AtherStack.
Yeah, it's a consistent vision.
So wrapping up this deep dive, we've looked at the clever pothole alert system, the smart EL platform, the feature-packed AtherStack 7.0. It's all adding up to make riding in cities safer, definitely smarter, and hopefully more enjoyable, turning that daily obstacle course into something, well, better.
Yeah, and, in India, two-wheelers aren't just transport. They're the lifeblood for millions. So Ather's work isn't just about selling scooters. It feels like a societal upgrade. The thing that really sticks, I think, is that vision. A city where your commute isn't a battle, but an effortless, smart journey. It really makes you rethink what's possible on two wheels and maybe the future of our cities themselves.